Hi guys, Georgia Boy here. Yesterday, me and the boys were up in the mountains doing some trout fishing. They're out on spring break this week and stopped in a gun store up there looking for small pistol or small pistol magnum primers, and the only magnum primers he had were a match grade primer, and I wasn't buying those. But he had 2 boxes of these Fiocchi small pistol primers. And I never used Fiocchi primers. I know they make good ammo, so I looked them up real quick on Cast Bullets. Everybody said no, they're good primers, get them. And instead of 100 to a pack, these come 150 to a pack. So instead of 1,000 primers to a box, you get 1,500. Now, primers around here, if you go in the gun store, $39 a thousand, unless they got them on sale. That's regular price. Since he didn't have what I was looking for, I got these for $29 a box. $29 a box of 1,500. So I got 3,000 primers for 60 bucks. I was glad to get those. That'll be my 38 plinking loads. Also picked up a pound of Accurate number 9 for some 44 Magnum loads with this Lee 310 grain bullet. Now this is a good bullet. The deal with this bullet though is it has 2 crimp grooves. One back here for a long overall length, one up front toward the nose for a short overall length. Now most of the load data that all of the load data that I can find either in manuals or online is this bullet seated long. This bullet will chamber in Ruger revolvers seated long, and it's very popular, and that's where all the load data is for. It's for this bullet seated long in Ruger revolvers. Now I have 4 manuals, and only one of them have this bullet, and it's the Lyman Cast. It's not in the rifle section, it doesn't have it, but it's in the handgun section. But the load data is for this bullet seated at 1.710, which is a long overall length. Well, to cycle through a carbine, you need it seated short to the top crimp groove, and this is a 1.60 overall length. So I have one load for this bullet with H110. Shoots good, but it's really flattening the primers more than I want to see. Well, a couple of years ago, Fortune Cookie did a video on this bullet using Accurate number 9. He used this bullet, he seated it short in Starline brass with Accurate number 9 and a Magnum primer, and he shot it through his Rugers. So I'm going to duplicate his load with number 9 and shoot it through my carbine, and I should be fine. So if you know of a manual that has the Lee 310 grain with short overall length load data, I'd like to get it. I'd like to pick that manual up. I think what people are doing is they're taking this load data with long overall length and they're using the start grains and seating it short and calling this their max load. I think that's what's happening. Because you can't take and fill a case full of H110 that's designed for a long overall length and then seat it short on top of that and touch that off. You're going to have big problems quick. But I think that's what they're doing. I myself am not comfortable doing that. So as it is, I've got 2 loads, one with the H110, and I'm going to work up Cookie's load. And if you know of a manual that has this bullet seated short, I'd like to know about it where I could get it. So that's where we're at. If you're loading this bullet, keep eye on what the data says. Is it for long or short overall length, especially if you get it offline. Anyway, there's where we're at. Got some primers, got some powders, and if you've got load data for that bullet seated short, I'd like to know. Hope you guys have a good day.